Welcome back to Chasing My Potential, where I help you discover those knowledge gaps massively holding you back. Whether it be them small technical details or decision making, we cover it all, leaving no stone unturned. This performance we're about to go through from Vinicius had my mind blown. You're going to learn so many details to add to your game from this one. And before we get into it, I'm aware that we do a lot of winger breakdowns and we have some midfielder ones and defender ones in the pipeline ready to go. But when I seen Vinicius' performance versus Bayern Munich, it would have been a crime to not do this. So let's see what knowledge gaps we can unlock for you today. In the 3rd minute, the ball is passed to Mendy, who is stood high and wide, which leaves this player in a tough position, as he now can't see Mendy and the ball at the same time. If he was stood here, this makes the midfielder's job much easier. And note, Bellingham's positioning is the reason why the midfielder can't stand right on Mendy's toes. He needs to be ready to anticipate this pass. Mendy's first touch takes him down the line, who gets his head up, and this is Vinicius' cue to make the running behind. Paused here is a picture we see so much in football at the beginning of games. And it all has to do with mind games. Attackers are told to make runs in behind early on in games for many reasons. One of the main reasons being is that it shows the defender you're willing to make these runs, so they need to be ready. Next time, this makes it easier to fake the run in behind and check back, whilst the defender is still chasing his shadow. Here we see the defender has a big run on Vinicius and it wouldn't be a successful pass. A cue that Mendy can pick up on, that he should keep the ball instead. So Mendy does a sharp outside chop against the chaser's momentum and keeps possession instead. In the 5th minute, we have some slick play from Madrid and Vinicius picks up the ball in the striker position. But why? As we see, Mendy has pushed up extremely high, the sign of a dominant, confident team. We saw a similar picture when City beat United 6-1, one of my previous analysis. Because Mendy is up so high, there is no room out wide for Vinicius, so he has the freedom to find another space and drift inside. This style of play is what makes Madrid so great. We see a lot of robotic teams who don't allow too much freedom, but the Madrid players are given way more freedom than most teams. Bellingham says it here himself.
Ancelotti has managed to get great performances out of you.
Every day at training and in the games, and he gives me the freedom to kind of roam the pitch and be as effective as.
Now, Vinicius space recognition. We see Madrid's triangle of midfielders stood very close, defining what your coach tells you to keep your distances from each other. Doing this, they drag the opposition defensive midfielders towards them. Now they begin to press. This huge space is now left open, which Vinicius enters, who plays the ball out wide first time, understanding where the space is. And now he runs on the blind side of the centre-back, who followed to get back into the box for the cross. And this was so close. Now, as the ball comes back out, Bellingham picking up this space and Vinicius picking up here. Now, this player can't block off both passing lanes. As the ball comes into Vinicius, we see him glance and play a first-time pass to Bellingham, who ran off the blind side. In the 11th minute, we see Vinicius doing what he does best. But look at the chemistry between Bellingham and Vinicius first. As Bellingham goes to threaten this space with a run, this confuses the defenders and usually leaves one of the attackers free. As it's halfway to him, we see him glancing to see the play, but also where the defender is. He's trying to come this side to block a potential pass. Even the wide player is beginning to sprint to start an aggressive press. Vinicius is one step ahead and thinks outside the box. He chops the ball with the outside of his foot, and this is the picture. The defender on line with him. Now, should Vinicius knock the ball here or here? He knocks the ball diagonally away to change the defender's line, bringing him this way. Now making it easier to cut across him than this. For my regular viewers, a video might be springing to mind now, the Hazard video. The line of touch being diagonal a lot of the time instead of straight. Lastly, let's note the turn. It's all about the disguise. His hips are still facing this way as he lets the ball skim off his foot, giving absolutely nothing away. The defender didn't see it coming. In the 12th minute, Neuer makes this incredible save. Bayern are caught by surprise and Vinicius makes a blindside run as the ball is played to the fullback, who finds Vinicius through the legs. Again, this is something that separates the top players. Even though someone is blocking off the passing lane, sometimes it can still be on through the legs. One touch and the strike. Any other goalkeeper, and this most likely would have been a goal. In the 14th minute, we see this shot from the edge of the box. Starting with Bellingham yet again, running off the opposition midfielder. One of his greatest strengths, his athleticism and energy. A lightning fast touch and pass to find Vinicius, who has a perfect touch to set himself quickly, and tries to curl it around the defender. In the 16th minute, Vinicius runs at Kimmich. Vinicius cuts inside against his hips and threatens a fake cross, which Kimmich goes to block, giving him an extra second to find a pass to Bellingham, who also does a perfect fake shot. Spotting the cue of the defender engaged, he can cut against his momentum. In the 25th minute, we see Madrid work the ball all the way up the pitch. Bellingham is stretching the pitch, keeping this space open. As Vinicius drops in, we see him glancing and reading the defender's intentions perfectly. He knows the defender will try and block off this passing lane. Being one step ahead again, he plays the ball into space here instead. Now making a run outside, he tries to go down the line with the defender's hips and momentum facing this way, which makes it too easy for the defender to read. He firstly needs to get some momentum advantage by potentially taking the ball here and getting the defender to plant and turn his hips, before then going back down the line. In the 35th minute, we see Vinicius show us how it's done in a 2v1. Initially, he's running at Kimmich, with the defender retreating. His angle of approach is great, threatening both ways, which makes Kimmich retreat back to his own goal with his hips facing this way. Because the defender is unsure, we see him begin to plant his foot to push off inside. And out of nowhere, Vinicius snaps the ball down the line, slightly on a stretch, causing Kimmich to now pick up speed here, playing catch-up. As Kimmich picks up speed, Vinicius slows down and begins to hop down the line, whilst keeping his hips facing infield. Now, this is his cue that the secondary defender will dive in, and he reacts chopping the ball down the line, and Kimmich again is playing catch-up as he was protecting the inside, as Vinicius loves to go through the middle. Straight into a fake cross on an absolute stretch, just avoiding that trailing leg, and Kimmich is in the dust. Now he has a chasing defender and uses this free space to cross as bait, executing it perfectly. Note again, doing it on the stretch, cutting the ball so sharply. In the 37th minute, he tries to go direct again, initially infield for the pass to break the line. And as the ball goes wide, he too runs wide to create the passing lane. And then his touch is just a little bit too big, which allows the defender to win it on a stretch. In the 38th minute, he wins a foul with an expert dive. Standing in the half space, he receives the ball with his back foot turning side on. Doing this allows him to see the picture as quickly as possible, whilst also protecting the ball with the instep of his right leg if the defender did decide to press. Now he drives at the defender, and this is his cue that the defender is beginning to plant his feet and engage in a tackle. So he chops the ball on a sharp angle with his hips open, giving nothing away. In the 39th minute, he whips in this deadly cross. With so many players in this small amount of space, a 1v1 wouldn't be the best option. So he mixes it up like all great forwards do. And he nearly finds Rodrigo making this blindside run. curling the ball in between both defenders. In the 40th minute, we see this interception. He gets the ball and threatens across into the crowded box. And now spots a great opportunity for a 1-2. But the ball is blocked. In the 44th minute, we see how he can keep the ball in such a tight space. As he intercepts the ball, he uses this space as bait, knowing the defender will chase, and now Cruyffs the ball against the defender's momentum. Now the defender is playing catch-up, so he does a fake pass and cuts against his momentum. As the defender picks up speed, he cuts inside and throws a step over to mimic a touch inside. But because they are so high up the pitch, the defender has the luxury of retreating into all of this space. Remember, the more space the defender has to back off into, the less control you have, and the harder it will be to beat them unless they are engaged. What really fascinates me is to see how fast Vinicius picks up on the cues of the defender's momentum and either always takes the ball against the momentum straight away or threatens with a step over or body feint. And this makes it so hard to judge his next move. And you will see the psychological impact of this on defenders a little bit later on. In the 45th minute, he touches the ball into this space, leaving it vulnerable for a second, and then reacts off the cue here. Kimmich beginning to press and stretches to cut the ball back down the line. Again, notice his hips when he does this. Facing this way, he plays the ball through the defender's leg and nearly gets an assist. In the 14th minute, another cross into the box. One thing to notice is the cross. When the defender stretches to block the cross, they leave a huge gap between the legs for you to cross through. In the 54th minute, another cross so close to an assist. What a game he's having so far. We have a retreating defender, so he uses an outside chop against his hips. As he plants his feet, he moves the ball away from pressure and then crosses easily as the defender is too scared to commit to a block in case he cuts inside. In the 55th minute, playing a nice pass to Bellingham. Look how he goes from 0 to 100 with the pass always hiding his intentions. In the 57th minute, every time he gets the ball, he's always testing the defender. He has to be one of the most tiring attackers to play against. He always wants to take you on or test you every time he gets the ball. In the 59th minute, Vinicius makes Neuer pull off a worldy save. Firstly, the angle of approach. The defender now in a world of uncertainty. We see Vinicius drops his shoulder down the line and the defender goes to stride here, even as he cuts inside. The defender still hasn't turned and re-engaged. Why? Because Vinicius could take the ball against his momentum back down the line as he's going here. This shows what a deadly player he is. Defenders are literally riddled with fear when he's dribbling. Now he has an engaged defender chasing, and he leaves the ball as bait before doing the Iniesta, the exact same as you will see in the next clip. He now touches the ball into space on an angle which keeps himself between the man and the ball, and then nearly scores. In the 63rd minute, doing the La Croqueta, also known as the Iniesta, he drives directly infield and again touches the ball, leaving it as bait and waits for the cue, and then destroys Kimmich, using the outstretched leg as the target to go around. In the 78th minute, expressing himself again, trying the La Croqueta again. He controls the ball with the sole of his foot, checking his shoulder, and then rolls it to the side lightning fast. He opens up and spots the recovering defender, and then quickly tries the skill but a brilliant tackle, hopping across on the full stretch. In the 82nd minute, he comes to feet, bringing the defender with him and bounces it off, and now stays in the pocket here with the defender on him tight. As soon as the ball goes here, he now springs to life, running on the blind side of the defender, and what a pass. And he gets to the ball a fraction of a second too late. And lastly, in the 87th, what a performance. How dangerous is this guy? His dribbling and timing is immaculate. And it doesn't matter if it's one defender or two. He knows how to control both situations. Let me know what small details you took from this analysis. For me, it was 1, how quickly he reads the defender's momentum, getting a great angle of approach and then some momentum advantage. And 2, how sometimes he leaves the ball vulnerable for a split second and waits for the cue to watch when the defender engages and then he moves the ball. For example, when we've seen him do the Iniesta. Let me know the next analysis you want to see, the player and the specific game that player ran. For those looking to improve your dribbling, this video is perfect for you. Compare your dribbling game to Vinicius and see what you need to start adding. But most of all, keep chasing your potential.